This is Dan from the Save Point. Before you enjoy this next episode, just want to let you know that there was a technical difficulty when it came to the audio. So the episode actually just ends at the end of this without an outro. So I just wanted to let everybody know. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading us. Check us out on twitch.tv/thesavepointtv and enjoy the episode.
This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. Ouch That Hurts, HERTZ.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Save Point Podcast. This is Dan. I'm joined here by Chris. And Chris, how you doing out there?
I'm pretty good. Can't complain.
Awesome. This is episode, what is it? 52, I think? What fucking episode are we on?
It's getting up there, that's for sure.
Which is good. I mean, at least we're sticking with this thing,
Yeah, I've probably been on a quarter of these episodes, but we're going there. We're getting there.
We are. We're on episode 51. So episode 51. First thing that we want to do is, if you haven't checked out episode 50, check it out. Braden Lindsay from Notre Dame, wide receiver from Notre Dame, was on. We were talking anime. And then prior to that, Chris and I, we were talking on episode 49, we were talking about Monster Hunter Rise and how we were feasting on Rathian. And yeah. So check those out, or any other ones. Huh?
We got to get back into that.
Yeah, we do got to get back into that. Speaking of getting into that, we're talking about our streaming. So check us out on twitch.tv/thesavepointtv. We actually made affiliate, so we're very, very happy about that. So thank you, everybody who has ever jumped into our stream or chatted with us or followed us or all of that. I mean, just thank you so much. We're at affiliate, so we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button on our Twitch and follow us and all that. But before we get into what we're playing, let's introduce. We have a new guy here who we hope is joining us for more than one episode. We've been kind of testing out some people, and we feel that this guy is going to be joining us for a while, and we love that he's here. So Ryan, how's it going?
All right, man. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome.
It's about time.
Awesome. Yeah, it's about time. A little bit of history. So I've known Ryan for going on 25 years now, at least.
Here, carry the two. Yes.
Yep, something like that. So Ryan is one of my best friends in real life. Even to a point that we call each other brother and all that. We actually were roommates for a while, which was great time, and all of that, and always had a love for video games, and figured we finally get you on for an episode or two, or even joining the clan, the whole group. So love that you're here. So with that, let's start out. Let's try. Let's not forget everything, but check out OuchThatHurts.com. which is our sponsor site, our affiliate site, whatever you want to call it. So check that out, Ouch That Hurts, HERTZ.com. And then our other partner is the bspodcastnetwork.com. That's bspodcastnetwork.com. Whole bunch of shit ton of different podcasts that you can check out and all of that and subscribe to among ours, and check it out. It's just you'll find a podcast to your liking, if it's not just about video games because you're listening to us, but you'll find something else that you like. So let's christen you by fire, Ryan. Let's start out. What have you been playing?
I've been literally playing Ubisoft's catalog. Watch Dogs Legion, Valhalla,
Division 2, and I'm one of the few who enjoys Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, we actually got into a discussion, about 1 o'clock in the morning about how you're upset that there's no Breakpoint news coming from Ubisoft.
Yeah, they got no Ghost Recon. That's Breakpoint specifically. No Ghost Recon news about like a possible next game, something like that.
And Ryan is one of the only guys that I know that literally can. The amount of knowledge that you have in Ghost Recon games is mind-boggling.
Well, let's verify. I wouldn't say Ghost Recon games. There's people that have been playing them since the beginning. I didn't get into Ghost Recon until Wildlands.
Well, between Wildlands and Breakpoint.
Oh, yeah, that's because I put hundreds and hundreds of ungodly amount of disturbing hours into that game.
There's times that we've actually been playing, and so like Ryan and I have this keen ability that on some games we take very seriously, and some games we just don't. And I'll take, for example, Dying Light. I think we leveled up our guys just because all we did was just run around and kill zombies the whole time. Like, I don't think we actually ever got past like the second mission.
There were missions?
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically, what I would be doing is that Ryan would try to be crafting something or doing something. I would find like those gas canisters or whatever, and I kick it, and I hit it, and then I would pick it up and throw it at him, and it would explode, and then all the zombies would go by him.
So pretty much I would be actually trying to upgrade a weapon, and all I would hear in the background is explosions going, seriously, motherfucker?
Yeah. And and then but then we get into a game like Wildlands or Breakpoint, and Ryan's like, dude, we got to do this. And we got to sit and like you get like really serious into it. And I'm like,
I get deep into those games because they're all about strategy, man. You do not, they're not games you can just really just straight up fuck around in. Otherwise you're just going to die until you say, I'm shutting this game off.
And like, so basically you can't Leroy Jenkins it.
Wildlands, no. Breakpoint kind of left that one behind. You can screw around a little bit in Breakpoint.
So nice. And then I asked, go ahead. What do you say, Chris?
No, you definitely screw around in Breakpoint.
Oh yeah, it's the game. The game's way easier.
Yes.
And then I can't even think. I was distracted. My lovely wife just walked by. So what is it? What the fuck? I can't even talk. Oh, and then you were playing Valhalla, and you mentioned that you haven't started the DLC yet.
No, I'm gonna wait for after I actually get through the story to go onto the DLC.
I'm hearing one of the big things that I heard about Valhalla though is that the story is just way too long. Like the actual Valhalla.
It's hard for me to judge at this point. I don't even know what story I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, but you also you platinumed Odyssey, didn't you?
I don't think I platinumed it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I played a lot of it.
Yeah, and that game like never ends also. So
it does. I got to the point where there was not one thing left for me to do on the map other than just do the random, where you are the mercenary for a random battle. Other than that, there were no question marks, no icons, nothing left for me to do.
That deserves an applause. Just on an Assassin's Creed game, especially when you were not necessarily against Assassin's Creed, but it took you a lot to actually get into it.
I played the first one, and I really loved the first one. And then the second one, I don't know. The second one was the one most people fell in love with. That's the one where I kind of just drifted away, and I didn't come back until Odyssey.
Which, ironically, you being coming from an Italian family, I'm surprised that you didn't get into the second one.
Yeah, it's more of a love for history as far as Greek mythology and stuff like that.
Yep. So what was it? Ezio Auditore Forenzia. That was the character's name in the second one. So
thank you for not blatantly doing an obscene Italian accent when doing that.
No, I can't. I couldn't if I tried. Chris, what have you been playing?
The last game I played was Monster Hunter Rise. I've been mainly trying to not have a broken vehicle. You fix a Jeep, you break a Jeep, and then you fix it again.
I don't know where to go with that. How's Monster
Well-
Hunter Rise?
It's fun. Since release, they've actually added 12 monsters.
Oh, really? Yeah. See, I'm still HR. What 4? Did we just get me to 4?
I don't know. You're still baby level.
I am still baby level.
Aw.
So, oh baby.
It's in Call of Duty language. You have yet to hit the prestige levels.
Oh, okay. I never knew that there was a way that we could actually coincide Monster Hunter with Call of Duty. But hey, Chris, bang up job. You found a way.
I'm just trying to help the average Joe.
Yep. But no, yeah, I know you've been really hitting that Jeep hard. You made it into a choo-choo about a month ago, right?
Yeah, so about a month ago, I went through a puddle. I cracked my radiator. I sucked up sand and water. So I blew the head gasket and I twisted the block. The engine hit 310 degrees, and we added water to the radiator to try to cool the engine down. And since there was a crack in the radiator, water hit the engine, instantly vaporized into steam, and just gussed out into a giant steam cloud. It was
Like I said, you looked like a choo-choo.
Yes, the name for the Jeep is Steamboat Willie now.
I was going to guess Thomas.
Thomas the engine.
You know that is a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Calling it Thomas might be a thing that has to happen.
No, wait, did this all happen like
No,
one after the other, or
It's
all
not
at
for
once?
Thomas. No. So like the cracked radiator, the blown head gasket, and the twisted block happened within 45 minutes.
Awesome. Jesus.
Yeah, and any car guys out there know I pretty much sent that motor to the graveyard.
Yeah, you did. So I mean, you just have the plethora of things that have been happening to you, Chris. I mean, what is it? So you have Steamboat Willie, which is your Jeep. You had what was it, Frank?
Yeah, we don't
Is
talk
Frank
about
gone?
that anymore. Yes.
So can I tell the story?
Yes, you can tell it.
So Chris calls me up one day, okay, and he goes, "I got to tell you something." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "I have a tapeworm." What? And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I have a tapeworm. I think I got it from eating pork or whatever restaurant. We won't tell you. We won't say the restaurant or whatever because that's the thought, but it's never been confirmed. So we don't want to say anything like that. But from eating what undercooked pork, it was.
Yep.
So right.
Yep, you're correct.
Yeah. And so we were trying to think of names on the way home for the car ride. And I think we were like looking at Tapey. And then at some point, I think Chris, you said it, I think it was Frank. I think we just call his tapeworm Frank. Because it was with you for what, a month?
Yeah, about a month.
So Frank is gone. Frank is handled. Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie's a giant money pit because now what's wrong with it is I have a bad U joint.
Well, it's better than a bad me joint.
Yeah,
No.
I just can't drive and like not hate my body, not hate my ears.
Oh. Okay. I
It's
guess
bad.
my joke didn't work.
It did not.
It did not.
Felt
It
pretty
did not.
flat.
Yeah, I gotta put some type of sound effect in on the episode for
You're
that.
you're not allowed to edit that out.
Like the what is it? The no type sort of thing.
You right.
Actually, that would be the perfect time to use the water boy sound effect.
Mama always said.
When Colonel Sanders gets hit in the head with the side of the head with a baseball, that sound effect is perfect.
And how many times have we sent that actual, like the 1 hour? So, Chris, I'll send it to you. Ryan and I, at some point, will either, it's, just randomly, we found a video. I forgot who found it. Ryan, I think you found it, was the part where he throws the baseball out of the window and it hits Colonel Sanders in the head and he goes, and he falls. It's just literally an hour of him going,
It's just an hour. You hear the crash of the baseball hits him, he goes, and then he hits the ground. It's just an hour of that repeatedly. And the first time I saw that, I think I watched for 20 minutes and I almost thought I was going to have to go to the hospital.
Oh yeah,
I know
we couldn't stop laughing.
What I'm gonna have to look up after we're done here.
Possibly, maybe. Okay.
Oh, no, there's no maybes.
Let's see.
There's a way, and
I think I can actually find it. Hold on. Ready?
How did we get here?
I don't know. Like, we just kind of did.
Welcome to the podcast. We come in with a goal. We're going to talk about A, B, C, and D, and then we trail off. It's like, hey, let me spend like 10 minutes on YouTube trying to find this one thing.
I think I actually have it saved in my app. Hang on. I heard it. There it is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
There's a way that I can actually get that sound effect. We got to find that sound effect and somehow put it in here.
Yeah, we could use it for when you do those jokes.
Okay, so back to me. Let's see. I've been playing a shit ton of things since we last talked. I did dabble some more into Valhalla, which is, that actually was the night that we became affiliated. I was playing Valhalla. So once again, why I feel Assassin's Creed is one of the best series out there. I picked up the Mass Effect Legendary Edition because I have actually never played
game.
Huh?
Because you actually want to play a good game for once.
So this podcast is just going to be Ryan and Dan from now on. No, no. So I've never played Mass Effect. I've always kind of like dabbled in it and looked at it, but I never actually sat down and actually played it. I'm about
you should be ashamed of yourself.
I know. I'm about 13 hours into the first game, and I'm loving it. I think we'll do a whole discussion after I complete the actual first game and going on to the second games. I think we'll do a couple episodes of just talking about Mass Effect because I can definitely see where people are saying that this is one of the best RPGs that has ever been created. Storytelling and tense and to me, controls are a little clunky in the first one, but I know the second and third one they fixed them. But no, definitely I'm enjoying a hell of a lot of it. A lot, everything that I've done in it so far, I'm really enjoying. What else have I been playing? I started The Last of Us 2 again because they came out with a performance update. So it's 60 frames per second. And I'm telling you right now, if you have not played The Last of Us in 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5, do it. Just play. It is so... The movement makes it so much easier. I don't want to say easier, but the fluidity of everything and how pretty it looks, you could definitely tell a difference, especially in a game like that when split seconds actually make a difference. So the fact that it's more smooth and runs faster, I think I'm doing a lot better in it, ironically, than what I have in my first playthrough. With that, and then... trying to think, what else have I been playing? Oh, I played No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky released their next gen update. So for 60 frames per second. So I've been playing with that. I tried the PSVR with it. I'm not a fan of it. I thought I was going to be. I'm not. I don't like the way that you hold the gun and all of that. So yeah. And then the last thing that I'm really looking forward on doing right now. Oh, I played a little bit of Biomutant. I'm still out. Like the jury's still out on it. It's good, but there's so much. Do you ever play a game where it's just too much element things like for your character? Like I know you want customization, you want a whole bunch of things for your character, and then you play sometimes there's just so many mechanics that it's like it becomes overwhelming.
Monster player, you're not going to overwhelm me.
You're what?
I'm a Monster Hunter player. You're not going to overwhelm me.
Well, see, that's the thing though. It's like Monster Hunter, you can get it really fast. Like not fast, there is a learning curve. This like throws like things that are so like there's a karma system, there's a power system, there's a move system, there's a another like bio system, there's a choice system that they throw in. So it's like you have all these mechanics that really kind of like don't necessarily coincide with each other. Like in Monster Hunter, they really flow nicely together once you understand them. This one, I'm still trying to see how they flow. You know, so
Your opinion on Monster Hunter with one weapon, great sword.
Yeah. So
it would literally mean the day and night. Like there, certain weapons, there's a huge dexterity to them. I definitely understand what you're coming from, having just too many choices in the beginning of the game. But if you're coming from like Mass Effect, I mean, literally, you spend an hour making choices before you even shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I think the thing with this one is that, and what I'm scared of with it, and I don't know, and this is why I think the jury's still out on it, is in games when there's a lot of mechanics, if they work well with each other, that's great, but that's few and far between. And then sometimes you have games that throw all these mechanics in, and you only use 2 or 3 of them, and the rest of them you'll never touch. Or you're forced to use these other mechanics and it makes the game not enjoyable.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm trying to think of something that Ryan, that you and I played that was kind of like that.
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of a game when it has a mechanic that you're not interested in, but it forces you to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's played at least one game like that.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Was it Fallout 4? Like there was absolutely no reason for base building.
Well, yes and no, but forcing you with that first settlement, that was the problem. Like you have to, like this is the settlement that, like base building as far as like making your own little homestead for yourself, that would have been fine. But saying, hey, you have to take care of these people, that mechanic became a problem at that point.
And,
yeah.
Hey, we have another base that's being attacked.
Yeah, it's like we don't care. I don't care, you know?
And the whole time I'm playing the game, I'm like, isn't this guy supposed to be on a mission to hurry up and save his kid?
Yeah, basically. But yeah. So like I said, the jury's still out on Biomutant. I think I just want to give it more time. Am I enjoying it? Yes. And that's the weird thing. It's like it still keeps pulling me back to it. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I get that.
But I am picking up a game on this Friday. So we're recording on the 9th of June. So there's a game that actually comes out on Friday that I'm really looking forward to. It has been getting a lot of really, really good reviews from a lot of different sites, and that's the new Ratchet and Clank game.
I'm pretty excited for that one.
You're breaking up. What'd you say, Chris?
Yes.
Just yes.
Give me.
I love the Ratchet and Clank games. I mean, they're 3D like platformer Mario, and I mean, for God's sake, you know the indie windows that they have in the game. I mean, one of the first games was Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, and then the other one was Up Your Arsenal.
Well, that's a nice part about Ratchet and Clank is that could be a couch co-op game. You know, all right, well, I'm having, my girlfriend would probably play that. She likes Crash Bandicoot, so she would definitely pick up Ratchet and Clank. She would play that with me. That's a game that she probably played on the PlayStation 2 at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And to me, it's the like, so like you look at Borderlands has that really crude humor. Like Ratchet and Clank, I don't want to say it has crude humor like Borderlands, but it has the same on par type of humor.
Yeah.
You know, it
just doesn't take itself seriously, and it makes it hilarious.
But that's the thing; it actually does. So like it's one of those like if I like to call it it's a serious game because there's different types of like I read 2 reviews. And some of them mentioned that it's finding Ratchet is trying to he's a Lomax, and he thinks that he's really one of the only ones left of his race, so he's kind of lonely. He doesn't know where his whole race is. So it's like you kind of deal with that type of thing, but not like in a sappy way. Like it's just kind of like those story cues. But then when they can make the obvious joke, they're going to make the obvious joke. So it actually does take itself seriously, but it doesn't, if that makes sense.
It takes the story seriously, but the characters have no problem joking around.
Yeah, exactly. Think of like it reminds me of like if you're watching like Boss Baby or like The Incredibles. Like there's a deeper underlining story to it, but if they're going to make the joke, they're making the joke. So getting into our topic for this episode, this weekend starts E3. It starts on Saturday and it actually goes through Tuesday, which is different from what usually happened before, where it would start on like a Thursday or Friday and go to like Wednesday or Thursday of that week going in. The biggest thing too is that there is it's not live anywhere. Like you can't go to it. Everything's all digital. So it's all, because of the COVID and all of that within the world. So there are a couple of things that will be happening. The kind of the norm stuff, some of the stuff that's out of the norm. So one of the out of the norm things, and it's not really because post pandemic, the first year PlayStation skipped out on E3 and they did their own state of play. So PlayStation once again is skipping out on E3. They're not going to be there. And they haven't actually mentioned anything about a state of play either. So I think the first question up, since they're not going to be there, do you expect us to actually see a state of play? Do you think that they're going to have something that, just last week, they just talked about Forbidden West. The prior week to that, they talked, a couple weeks prior to that was Ratchet and Clank. Do you really think that we're going to see anything from them in the next couple of days? Anyone?
I absolutely do not think
During
so.
while E3 is happening, no. If they do anything, it's going to be post E3. They're not going to shove their announcement into this. They're going to wait so the attention can be completely on them and what they're doing.
Yeah. So okay, good. I see that. I kind of agree with you. I don't see them doing anything this weekend. I could see them doing something maybe Monday or Tuesday when the other big people have kind of gone and they're done. But that's really about it. But yeah, I agree. What about you, Chris?
No. I just see them doing releases like they have been. Hey, this is what's coming out. This is when it's coming out. And that's the end of that.
Yep. We're not going to go through the whole list, but you can go to really any type of site, IGN, E3.com, whatever you want to look at it. You can pull up the schedule. So we're kind of skip around of what the schedule. I just kind of want to talk about just kind of what are we thinking would come from some of these. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all of them. So like I'm not going to talk about we're not going to talk about the PC gaming show or the future game show. Verizon presentation, like we don't in television, like we don't even know what's going on with those. So we'll kind of hit some of the big ones that we're looking at. I think one of the big ones, and it's happening Tuesday. It's the Nintendo Direct. That's actually happening at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So it would be about 11 o'clock a.m. our time in Chicago, 12 o'clock Eastern time. They're saying that it's just going to be software. There is a rumor out that a Switch Pro is supposedly on the horizon. Do we see them making an announcement? A teaser? Do we see them prior? Maybe after? What do you think? Somebody.
If not the Switch Pro, then it'll definitely be the next Zelda game. Because all they would have to do is talk about Zelda, and every fanboy and girl out there will just go ape shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Agreed. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. It's like if Sony did a conference, all they'd have to say is God of War, and then mic drop. That's all Nintendo has to do is say Zelda. You're welcome.
I agree on that end. I think one of the big things with it is sometimes you can kill your own hype. And I think this is why we won't hear anything about a Pro system from Nintendo. So think about it. I'm sorry?
Not this year at all. I mean, just think about it. I mean, Microsoft and Sony are having a hard time building consoles. Why would Nintendo try to release a system when there's such a short supply of items that they need to make these consoles?
And that's kind of where I'm going at with it. So think of it this way. So Switches are like hotcakes right now. Like it's hard to find a Switch. Okay. Among the next gen consoles also. And this is the vanilla version of it. This is the one that has come out, what is it? 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, has come out. If they're going to showcase all of their stuff that's on the current gen, and then they're suddenly come back and say, oh, wait, by the way, we're going to have a Pro, you're going to kill that hype for all the games that you just talked about in the software. Because now everybody's going to be like, I want to look at the Pro.
Absolutely.
What's the Pro going to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of the stuff that you're kind of going to kill your own hype, especially when you have this one vanilla system that's selling great. I don't think we're going to hear anything about Nintendo Pro until next year. Honestly,
no. We, at this rate, we won't hear about it. Think about it. What's the average lifespan of a console generation? 7 years. Nintendo
5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years. The Switch is getting there. I think it's getting real close to that. It was only a year or two later when after the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, that the Switch came out. It came out after all the big hype. So they're going to do that again.
You're looking at if they're going to make a hardware. I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that if you're,
we're going to see a new Nintendo.
What you're saying is that a lot of people are saying that this is going to be a mid-year. If a Switch Pro comes out, it's going to be a mid-year integration, like a mid-generation integration. You're saying that the next Switch is going to be the next generation of Nintendo. Is that what you're saying?
It's too late in the Switch's life to release a Pro version. Because what, you're going to release a Pro, better graphics, better processing power, it's 50% stronger. But then 2 years later, you're going to release another console, and you're going to have a bunch of angry fanboys. Oh, I just dropped, $700 on a handheld. Because 80% of the people use their Switch as a handheld. Even if it's the Switch with the removable Joy-Cons, you're still going to put that in a backpack. If you're working in a city, you're riding on the subway, you take that thing out. How pissed would you be if you bought the mid-gen upgrade and it was a late-gen upgrade?
True.
I think Nintendo's going to just sit back. They're going to, they're making a ton of money what they got now. What is the point of putting their company at risk of ridicule and harassment when, the handheld at-home console is a selling point? Build from there, put a completely better CPU and GPU in it, make it beefier, let it do upscale 4K, and still be a handheld, and they're going to sell like hotcakes.
Yep. You're also looking at that handheld's probably going to be about $400 too.
No, that handheld's going to be like $500. Let's just be honest. With the COVID-19, with the shortage in chips right now, I mean, even with cars, I don't have to tell anybody there. My girlfriend just paid off her car, and she got a letter in the mail from the dealership that she paid it off at, saying that, hey, even if you're not buying, we want to buy your car because they don't have the chipset to finish the cars that are the thousands upon thousands of cars sitting in these parking lots that are waiting for just a few simple chips, but they can't drive without it. So
True.
if we're waiting for cars to be completed, why would Nintendo take a chance on releasing a new console that only 100,000 units are going to be able to be sold worldwide in the first 3 months? No.
True. It's a good point. It's a really good point, actually. So last question about Nintendo. Do we get a release date for Breath of the Wild 2?
Yes.
Yes?
Definitely.
Christmas.
Definitely. I don't think so.
Either December or November.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna. I think it's Nintendo.
It's been 5 years. It's been in development for 5. It's been in the same amount of development time as the other as Breath of the Wild. So we're looking at a holiday release. Towards the holiday release. It could be in Brooktober. But I'm thinking the last 3 months of the year.
Nope. I see. I don't. I see maybe a trailer, maybe a little bit of gameplay, and then it's a keep watching Nintendo for future updates. I don't see a release date. So we have two people saying release dates. I'm saying no release date. Let's move on to Ubisoft. So these are always hit or miss. Yeah, these are always hit or miss. Usually by this time, Ubisoft has either leaked information or, so like really the only game I see big on the horizon right now for Ubisoft is Far Cry 6.
No, the Division MMO.
Yeah, the Division Heartland.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm actually kind of excited about that. I'm really curious how they're going to do that.
So okay, so there's two things. That's not going to fill up an hour though.
And then there's Battle Cat,
which is the whole like bringing everybody together.
It looks. I don't know what they're doing with it. It looks like it might be their attempt at like a Fortnite or like a battle royale kind of thing. It's just a mixture of all these things from past Ubisoft games. Like I saw something where it was where the classes are like Echelon, or the cleaners from the Division is something you can be, or like the wolves from Breakpoint, stuff like that.
Well, do you think it's just cosmetic, or do you think it's actually abilities?
It correlate. Yeah, the class correlates to things that the class can do, like the Echelon class. Sonar or stealth. Wolves can take more damage. They're like the tank.
So would you try it?
Me? Absolutely
not. Battle Royale.
I don't play those games. I'm not going to knock it, but it's not something that I'd even play the demo for.
Okay.
Look, it's too late. That's just the problem. Everybody's trying to get this giant cash grab with the battle royale games, but it's just too late to bring in a new player to that game.
Mm-hmm.
As big as Ubisoft is, that market's already been cornered, man.
Yeah, I find it hard that's actually going to get Steam. It's kind of like remember PlayStation All Stars?
No,
that's right. So, yeah. So, I don't know. It's just kind of like.
But I bring up.
I think you're right.
I bring up Battle Cat because I have a feeling that's going to be something they're going to be like, "Hey, look at this."
Well, yeah, it's everything that battle royales are. It's look at what we can do cosmetically.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this new gun. Look at what this cosmetic thing is.
And they're going to say, look, you can look just like Sam Fisher, and I'm going to go, I can do that in Breakpoint, or I can play Splinter Cell.
So I see a little thing on here, and we'll get back into Ubisoft, but I see a little thing on here for the Warner Brothers game is going to be there, and all it says is Back for Blood. I'm wondering if they're going to have an open beta after this. I wonder if they're going to announce an open beta.
There is a beta. They have a beta date for pre-order betas. I mean, we're looking at a Left 4 Dead style game. and I cannot be any more excited for that.
Oh, me too.
Question
Me
from
too.
the new guy. Question over here from the new guy.
Yeah.
What the heck is Back for Blood?
So Back 4 Blood. Do you know the premise of Left 4 Dead?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you have your 4 people running around and you're killing hordes of zombies, and then you have other players if you wanted to get into the multiplayer, or if not, you have other like specialty zombies, and you have to get basically from point A to point B without getting killed, and you only have one life. If your guys are dead, you're dead. Okay. So there's been 2 Left 4 Deads, or is it 3? Has there been 2 or 3? There's been 2. There's only 2 Left 4 Deads. So everybody has been saying, okay, where's Left 4 Dead 3? It was always rumored that there was going to be another one. All the people that worked on the original Left 4 Deads have left the studio. And it seems that this group has gotten back together and they're making this game called Back 4 Blood, which looks like a Left 4 Dead game, but they just can't call it Left 4 Dead because they don't own the rights to it. But it's literally, you're a group of people go and you're fighting a horde of zombies, and there's other people out there that are these specialty zombies that can get you. And I'm telling you right now, I know that you're not huge into like multiplayer with this. This is fun multiplayer. Like, you can get lost for hours in Left 4 Dead games. Because it's like you can't Chris, remind me. So what were the zombies? There was only 3 zombies that you could be specialty zombies, right?
So there was a screamer, or not screamer. There's the
witch.
Yeah, screamer. The witch who was just sitting there crying. A tank. They had exploding zombies. They had regular runners, and then there was this like specialty zombie who would like jump at you and pin you down.
Yeah. So you had a hunter. So you had a hunter, which was really agile, so you can jump around and you can like climb on things. And then you had one. There was a tongue. It was a smoker. That's what he was. He would shoot a tongue out at you and like catch you, but everybody could see the tongue, and you can actually shoot the tongue down. And it's not instant kill. Like, you really had to like be on a person for a long time before you killed him. So as long as your teammates could get to you, you could kill the person that was like the enemy. And that's the thing that why I think, Ryan, I think you'd actually like it, because you actually have to work coordinating with people. But then on the other end of that too, is that like, it's not like a one kill, one shot die. Like, you really got to be messing up big time, to like get caught and die in the game, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you would actually like it. I think you'd actually like Back 4 Blood. So I'm wondering if we're going to see, that's coming out. That was supposed to be coming out in June, and what, they moved it to September.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, even if you don't play like the player versus player, I mean, how easy is it just to waste hours upon hours and just increasing the difficulty on a zombie game where it's like, all right, well, easy is easy, normal. All right, you might die if you're not careful, and then hard is, oh crap, I have to do this with at least one other player to get through this level, and you can do that with up to 4 people.
Yeah. October 12th it comes out. And then I believe
A clever name they chose, Back 4 Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of insinuates, hey, it's still us. We're just somewhere else.
Yeah.
So players will get to play survival horde game during this year, blah, blah, blah. Officially no confirmation of crossplay yet. So, but I really highly would doubt that it's being made by... Who the hell is making this game? It's made by Warner Brothers and Turtle Rock Studios, which is not affiliated to any big name.
Well, Turtle Rock is the studio that the team from Valve left that made Left 4 Dead. They left and they made Turtle Rock.
That's why I was saying. So yeah, but they're not affiliated with like Microsoft or Sony. Like, they don't have any exclusivities to them. They're not one of their studios. So no. I would find it very hard that this doesn't become a cross-play game. because that's where it seems that everything's going, which is absolutely love the fact that games are crossplay now. Okay, so going back to Ubisoft, one big thing that you think will happen that they'll announce or say or do for the show, or do you think it's just going to fall flat and there's going to be no big announcements? Chris, go. One big announcement you think they're going to make.
For Ubisoft? Another Assassin's Creed.
You think so?
Yeah.
If you had to guess, where's the location?
Oh boy. I could see them doing like Mongolian or like China.
Okay. They haven't done that yet.
Like the Ming Dynasty.
Mm-hmm. They haven't done that yet. Ryan, you.
No big announcements. I think it's too soon for an Assassin's Creed game. They're still releasing DLC for this one.
True. Okay. I think we finally get a release date for I have Back for Blood on my mind. What is that? Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Maybe.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I mean that's been in development for God knows how long, and I mean
They're
it's
like
still up.
Cyberpunk like the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting to that point. So they're saying, yeah, the rumor is that on an investor call that happened in May, that there's 5 new AAA games confirmed that are going to be released in 2020 to 2021. So I'm wondering if Beyond Good and Evil, we're going to get some information on that.
Maybe, you never know. I would like to be wrong.
I would love to see something for Skull and Bones too. Skull and Bones,
man.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's another one that I forgot about.
Which one?
You literally take off. You literally just take all the good parts of Black Flag Sea Combat and you make that into a game, and I would just play that. I would be happy with that.
And the fact that there's hundreds of customizations of ships and sails and all of that, and that you and your friends could team up and have their own ship, and we can create a fleet. Fuck yeah, I'm all for that.
Hell yeah,
definitely. I forgot that was the thing.
Let's see. We can talk about a little bit about Square Enix. I think there's going to be 2 big things with Square Enix. One, I want to see more from Forspoken, which I don't know if you guys know what Forspoken is.
it sounds like you said a word wrong.
No, it's correct. So Forspoken is, do you remember during the PlayStation reveal, there was a game that was working title, was called Project Athea? And it was like the one girl that was like jumping over like mountains and then she would fly through and all of that. Yeah. So that got an official name and it's called Forspoken.
Oh.
So if you look up a trailer of it, look up a trailer of it. It looks amazing. So they've only released, I think, 2 or 3 trailers for it, but it looks amazing. So I think we're going to get more information with that. And then I think we're going to get more information about Final Fantasy, was that 16? The PlayStation exclusive Final Fantasy 16? Right?
That's your wheelhouse, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is being in development right now. It's only for PlayStation 5. It looks... The graphics on it look great.
That'll probably be their highlight.
I'm hoping it is.
Final Fantasies are bread and butter, man.
It really is.
Especially after having their hands in Outriders and how big of a dumpster fire that launch was. They kind of need to redeem themselves.
Oh God. I've never downloaded and then removed a game from my PlayStation so fast.
So,
another thing about Square Enix to look forward to for a small group of people, but there's still a player base, is they'll probably make an announcement regarding the Avengers with the Black Panther DLC.
Yeah, they've confirmed that, so we'll see some with that. But
they have.
Yeah, but the question I have with it is the Avengers game even like repairable?
No.
I think you can keep the player base that's there and do what you can to keep them happy, but it's going to be tough to bring in new players at this point, man.
Yeah, I just don't.
It's an Anthem all over again. It's dead in water.
Yeah, I think so too, and
It's
I just don't think they've called
a slower death than Anthem did. That's the only difference.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
They had a great concept. They had a great idea. The execution was great with the story. And it was the end game that screwed it up. If they would have just made a game where it was just a story and then continuing the story, they would have done fine. But what they tried to do with it did not work.
Nope.
But anyways, back to E3.
Yeah, back to E3. The other thing too is, and this is what I follow. I'm not too sure if you guys have followed this. There's a thing called Project Triangle Strategy. It's a new game from Square Enix. It's like an HD 2D game. And I think it like coincides with Octopath Traveler. And I think they're going to try to spin it, and I think it's going to end up being a new Final Fantasy Tactics game. And I think that's kind of what Octopath Traveler kind of was, without them calling it. But I don't know. That's kind of like, I'm holding that close to my heart, or close to my chest right now. The other thing too is that I think, and I would love it, and I think we're going to just get a teaser trailer just to like wet our lips a little bit. And that is, we're going to see part of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Give me a second.
No.
You cut out right when it said wet R, and then it went blank, like you bleeped yourself, and I started laughing, not knowing what the heck wet R what was.
Wet his lips.
Yeah,
I know what he said, but it's not what it sounded like through my headphones.
Yep. Hold on one second, guys. Come on.
I'm afraid to see what happens with Bethesda.
With who?
Bethesda?
Ooh.
Oh, we'll get to that. Sorry, my other screen turned off. So I didn't know why.
That's a whole conversation unto itself right there.
So that's actually what we're going to get into right now. So that's my thought when it comes to Square Enix. I think we're going to see some I think we're going to see a lot of Final Fantasy things. But getting into what I think is, this is a make or break E3, and I hate putting all the emphasis on E3, but it's really the only really big platform that they use. I really think that this is make or break it for Xbox.
Really?
Is this E3? So, I mean, let's break it down, and then we'll get into our predictions with it. Let's break it down. Very mediocre game reveals for the Xbox Series X. I'm not going to talk about hardware. I have the Series X. It is a powerful fucking box. It really is. Booting up of it, functionality of it, the way the games run. I have never had a crash on it. My only knock, if I could really find my only knock, there's two things with it that I don't like and that do not have anything to do with games. One is that it only uses Wi-Fi 5. Okay. So Wi-Fi 5, you can definitely tell some of the things when there's high downloads or whatever, it definitely does move a little slower. I mean, PlayStation 5 has Wi-Fi 6 built into it. So, I mean, I'll download games faster. I've downloaded the same game, and I've downloaded faster on my PlayStation than I have my Xbox. That's just a fact. But my own fact. The second thing, I hate the fact that they have their own peripheral for storage. That little memory card thing.
Yeah. But,
Considering it's $220 for 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own gimmick.
Yeah. But on top of that, at least they have an extra storage thing instead of moving back and forth on the PlayStation.
Well, I mean, PlayStation, you literally, it's either an SSD or you dump $300, on a decent SSD, or you get just a normal hard drive and you're throttling yourself.
Well, that's the thing. You can't even play PlayStation 5 games.
No,
You can load them and you can save them to the externals, but then you have to move it back to the SSD to actually play them.
Yes.
Like they need to release that update, that you can put the PCIe, 4.0 slot. You can actually start to use that. They just have to. Like it's imperative. They've been saying that it's going to be coming out this summer. It's imperative that it comes out this summer. That functionality.
They have to.
They have to.
One of the most brutal things with PlayStation 5 for me has been just managing when a new game comes out. Okay, what do I have to get rid of?
Yep.
What's the
And are you getting rid of it and making sure that it's cloud saved properly so that when you do download it again, you don't lose all your save games like somebody else in this group did when he got his PlayStation 5. Chris, did I tell you that?
Yes.
Yeah. I for people listening, when I got my PlayStation 5, I ended up trading in my PlayStation 4 Pro so I can get an Xbox, okay? And I never uploaded my cloud saves from my PlayStation for like a year. Like the last time it updated was like a year and a half. So all my progress for like a year on my PlayStation 4 games was all gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The first thing you told me as soon as I got my PS5 was, do it. Ryan, check your cloud save. Like, he was on me, like white on rice. Like, Ryan, check your cloud saves. All right, I'm taking, check your cloud saves. Okay,
Yep.
Okay.
Have you done this? Yes, Dan, I did that 3 days ago. Have you done it? No.
Yeah.
Which
That's really the only knock I have against PS5 so far is their storage.
Yep. Speaking of PlayStation 5s, not that I'm toting myself, but who was the guy in here that made sure that you guys were available to know when PlayStation 5s were available? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo, Dan. Yeah, no, Dan seriously did me a solid with that one. I literally had given up on the idea of even getting one. Dan's like, here, check it out. They're on sale. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, thinking it's not going to happen. And, time's going on. It's the counter's ticking. It says this many minutes.
You're on the PlayStation Direct, right? The PlayStation Store Direct one?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it on my phone, and I'm signed in, and it's keep me updated. There's 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and then out of nowhere, within 1 minute left, it jumps me back to the wait of like over an hour. And I went, fuck, well, it's over. Threw my phone to the side, never logging out of the site. So the page was still refreshing and keeping me in. So then it gets to about midnight. I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden my phone starts vibrating like crazy. I'm like, it's like midnight. Who the frick is calling me? Nobody. It was PlayStation alerting me to get my PlayStation 5 now. I was like, holy shit, I forgot about that. I've never put my information into a website so fast in my life.
Yep.
Yeah. That was
Dan bought me mine.
Well, no.
Well, no.
I did not buy you yours.
You didn't. But
what was happening was you were not able to get on and log in. Okay.
I was working.
You were working, and I was working, and I had all paperwork at my desk, so I was just working, office work, and there was same thing. They had a drop on PlayStation Direct. So basically what I did was I logged on, and I'm like, okay, Chris, what's your information? You gave me that. And I logged in with Chris's stuff and I ended up buying it. And, it was just shipped to my house. And I asked you remember the $1 million question that I asked you when it came to that was, hey,
no.
when it gets shipped to my house, do you want to come and pick it up?
That wasn't even a proper question. The answer was already decided before you even asked it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was at her sister's place doing like a family dinner, and I'm like, yeah, I got something important to do later. And we stayed up till like 3:00 in the morning playing Demon's Souls.
Yep. Because our one buddy, who was a big Xbox guy, ended up buying a PlayStation 5 Fast. How did he actually end up getting it?
He same way as you got me mine.
Oh, really?
He just sat there. Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest. He had a lot of time.
It's true. He did.
So I was in a situation where I was at work. I can't just sit in front of a
Yep.
phone for
Well, I think the thing with our guy that ended up getting it over the Xbox, is a big Xbox guy, is that when he sent us the text and he's like, "Yeah, I got a PlayStation 5." I think we went back and we're like, "Is that a typo?" Like, we didn't believe him.
You spelled Xbox wrong.
Yeah, you spelled Xbox wrong.
Are you having a stroke? What's happening?
Well, so you saying that, it's the same thing with Dan complimenting Xbox. It's like, wait, are you feeling okay?
I've come around better. I've been better.
In Dan's defense, yeah, he's over the years, he's been more of a on the fence ever since he decided the console war is stupid. That's when he got better. It was years ago when he just decided this is stupid.
Yep.
I've only owned PlayStation consoles until the Xbox One. But the only reason why I bought an Xbox One is because literally everybody I knew had one, and I couldn't find a PS4 anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Xboxes were everywhere, so I was like, screw it. I bought the stupid one with the Kinect for like $600, and that was it.
Good. It was a good system. I have one.
I
have it, and then I have 3 generations of PlayStation I'm staring at.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? I've actually never paid full price for an Xbox. Every single Xbox I've had, I've never paid full price. So my first Xbox,
I don't know if do you remember your day one Xbox taking a crap on you the first day?
That wasn't me. That was Burns.
That was Burns? Oh,
that was Burns. Yeah, no, that was Burns. He ended up calling me at like 2:30 in the morning. He left me a voicemail, and I wish I still had the voicemail. He was like, "Yep, you win. You got the PlayStation 4. It works. I got the Xbox, and it shitted out on me."
Basically, what he said is, "You got a brand new system, and I got a $600 paperweight."
Yeah, with a Kinect.
There's a camera.
There's a camera, and it tracks you. Do you ever see what? Sorry, Theo joke. You ever want to see what the bottom of an avatar's foot looks like? Bam. No, we never did. We never cared. Just look up that what was his name? Kita. I don't know. He's probably hopefully he's fired now because I couldn't stand him from Xbox. But he comes on and he's got he's all scruffy. He's got the track gym suit on because he thinks he's cool. He's got the hair from his chest sticking out from the zipper down. He's got the old $5 aviators and the long greasy hair. He probably had so much cologne on him that you could smell him in the back of the arena. Sorry, I couldn't stand him. Keto, whatever his name was.
He sounds like one of the kidnappers from the movie Taken.
Yeah, basically, and. And he gets up there and he's like, "Here, let me talk to you about Project Natal." At the time it was called, and they're like, and then it came to Connect, and he's like, "Do you ever wonder what the bottom of an avatar shoe looks like?" Bam! And I remember looking at him and I'm like, "No, I don't. I've never wondered that ever."
I bet he's also wondering what the inside of a shower looks like.
So, Chris, do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So sorry. And then they're like, "Hey, look!" And then
I just looked this guy up on my phone, so I've actually seen him now for the first time. And sweet bejesus, that's your that's your spokesperson.
Yeah, no wonder the Kinect bombed.
Well, everyone probably thought it fell off the back of a truck. Jesus,
it was horrible.
Okay, so let's actually get into it. So the question I have is, do we see how do they do this Bethesda / Xbox?
I mean, it's gonna be either it's a 50-50. I think they're gonna have Xbox come out or Bethesda come out. They're gonna do their multi-console launches, and then you'll hear the only on Xbox, and you'll hear like the Elder Scrolls music, which I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't think that is incredibly stupid. If Microsoft says, "Hey, we have Elder Scrolls, let's just keep them." Like, no, there's too much money to be made. That's why you can buy Minecraft on PS5. There's too much money to make in not having that being a multi-console system. The Starfield, I definitely see some more information this year.
I see it also being mentioned as an Xbox exclusive.
That I can't, because there's no promises. It was in early development stage, pre-alpha. So there's no paperwork. There's no nothing set up for.
Do we even know a premise for it? Do we even know a premise for what Starfield is?
It's a field of
It's going to
stars.
it's going to be a multi-planet Bethesda game.
So it's going to be Elder Scrolls in space.
So pretty much, what was the one that was made by Obsidian like 2 years ago? What was that called? Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds? Yeah, Outer Worlds.
I could see it being like Outer Worlds.
But the question I have is that, so if you're saying that means that they're going to be using this engine that is so fucking old. Do we see a new engine?
It could be the engine they're going to be using for next Elder Scrolls. This game could be like the test run for it.
Maybe, I don't know. The creation engine, I mean, they used it on Skyrim and they've used it on Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. They haven't used it on any other game.
They used it. The creation engine was on the Fallout 3 also.
Was that on? No. Okay, so it was an upgrade. So yes, the Fallout 3 also had the creation engine, but then they did a full revamp of the engine and upgraded it for Skyrim.
Oh, no. Actually, Fallout 3 uses a version of the same Gamebryo engine as Oblivion. It was developed by a team for that. So, what is Fallout 4's engine? Is that the creation engine?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the creation engine. So you're right. Fallout 4 is the creation engine.
So the creation engine came out in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it is an old engine. I definitely agree. You know, is it time? Yes. Are they working?
14 years old.
Are they working on a new engine? I can almost guarantee they are, because they ran into so many damn problems over the past few years, and it's easy to hack into. I mean, it's a modder's dream, a creation engine. That's the one thing that it is. It's a modder's dream.
It is. The engine is actually 14 years old. Yeah. The creation is 14 years old. So yeah, so I'm wondering if they're actually going to talk about a new engine. I mean, think about it. A new engine is multi-millions of dollars.
Well, you've got a multi-billion-dollar corporation backing you. You can afford it.
That's where Microsoft is jumping in. I really think that's where that's coming in at. That's where we're going to see the difference. We're going to see a new engine, or possibly a new engine, and it's going to be created by Microsoft, or it's going to be basically backed by Microsoft. What predictions out of Bethesda do you see?
I see a little more information on an Elder Scrolls. I mean, that's easy. You know, they'll have probably like a cinematic trailer, a little more detail to it. But I think the biggest focus is going to be Starfield. They're going to push.
You really think it's going to be Starfield?
I think they're really going to push the new IP.
Okay. What about you, Ryan? What do you think? What do you think's coming out of Bethesda?
No, I agree. That was it. Todd Howard said years ago, when they released that little tidbit of Elder Scrolls, they said, "We're working on it. There it is. Don't bother me about it." Pretty much. They're still working on it, and it's still several years away. So yeah, as Chris said, if they do anything, it's just going to be a longer, maybe little cinematic. But yeah, they're going to want to. Elder Scrolls sells itself. They're going to have to push the new IP if they want to sell it.
Yep. I see maybe a little bit of movement around the Indiana Jones game that they talked about. That's there. Have you guys have heard about this, right?
I did hear about that. I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. So
but I don't know.
I think we're going to see a little bit of that because I think that's going to just be filler.
It's a movie game, technically. Even though it's not tied to a movie, it's still based off a franchise, which makes me go, ugh.
Do we see a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake?
Dave, that's been talked about for such a long time. At this point, I don't even hold my breath to that.
It's basically just a myth.
Correct. And I just threw that because it's just, that's an EA game. I was just wondering. But I'm wondering if it does happen, I see it happening at the Xbox event.
Yeah.
I see Redemption from CD Projekt Red coming. And I think that they're going to get on the Xbox stage, and I think they're going to talk about the next gen and their updates or whatever. Possibly.
You know what I see?
They better do something.
CD Projekt Red is going to pull a Bethesda. They're going to do it. They're going to do a Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Definitive Edition, updated graphics, all DLC. Yep. You know, they're going to do that, and it's going to be next gen only. There's too much money to, again, it's at the end of the day, yes, these are great creators, but they're in a business about making money.
True. Fable. Do we see anything about the new Fable?
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't think so.
I think they'll do something. They'll do a little something. It's not going to be like this big, huge reveal, but it's going to be kind of like I said about Elder Scrolls. They're going to say, hey, look, this is a little bit more, and that's it. We're still working on it.
Okay. And then my last one about it, Halo. What do you? Obviously we already know Halo's going to be there because it's in the fucking promotion picture.
Oh, okay. Halo is going to be the highlight of the night, dude.
Yeah,
they're going to reveal everything. They're going to reveal everything that isn't a spoiler about Halo.
Hopefully that it looks a hell of a lot better than what they did 11 months ago. So their first look of gameplay was 11 months ago, and it looked like shit.
It looked like Xbox 360.
Yeah, it did. It looked horrible. So do we see them reworking that? Do we? So I'm wondering if we see like a next gen version of it, which they're going
to Sonic the Hedgehog it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know. I mean, the movie when they first released the trailer, and everyone went, "What the fuck?" And then by the time the next trailer rolled around, they completely reworked
everything.
So
I see that.
And people were happy.
Do we see a release date or do we see a release window?
Window.
What's the window?
For October.
November.
February of 2022. I see February 2022.
I don't see it being done this year.
No, I don't see it being done this year. They say a window of like first quarter of 2022, and I think it gets then pushed to fall of 2022. I think it's still a year and a half out.
Yeah, because everyone's learning a hard lesson from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. Well, and because of CD Projekt Red, you know, they people bought that game with just with no hesitation, thinking, all right, it's CD Projekt Red. It's gonna be great. So we're just gonna buy it. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be okay. Did Witcher have a couple bugs? Of course it did, but it wasn't nothing to the point where we're game breaking. You can't play a game. Your save files were never deleted. Well, they have opened up a whole.
They've opened up a whole what?
They opened up a whole different game of people watching developers now.
Yep. So the question I have then too, or the statement that I have is, look at what CD Projekt Red did with The Witcher. The Witcher 3 had some bugs at the beginning, and now it's one of the best RPGs that's out there, period. Action RPGs that's out there. It really is. It's such a great game. and they supported it for years, and they're still supporting it. So I see them doing that with Cyberpunk. I see them just continue to support it because they don't give up on their games.
They've already said they're not giving up on Cyberpunk. They made that very clear. They stated that they are going to make it the game that they promised.
Yep, which makes me happy. Which makes me say, okay, I have the copy sitting in my thing right now. I even have a whole bunch of hours into it. I'm actually at the point now with it is that I'm waiting for this next gen stuff, and I think I actually might start it over again.
Oh, I'm definitely going to start it over again, like I did with Valhalla. I played Valhalla for hours on PS4, and then as soon as I got the PlayStation, I deleted the save file. As soon as I got the PS5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to change the subject real quick, and we can go back. Valhalla, is it actually worth it?
In my estimation, absolutely.
I think it's a shitload of fun. It depends on what you are a fan of in game.
Okay, so is it a good Viking game, but a bad Assassin's Creed game?
Yes and no.
That's a good question.
It is a great Viking game that does a better job than Odyssey did of adding Assassin's Creed to it. There's a lot more Assassin's Creed in Valhalla than there was in Odyssey.
Well, I skipped Odyssey. Okay, I'll tell you right now. The last Assassin's Creed game I played that I bought and beat was Black Flag.
Oh yeah, Odyssey was shitloads of fun. But yeah, if that's what you were looking for is more like Black Flag, then it's a good thing you skipped Odyssey, because Odyssey was that's a whole other. That game could have been not Assassin's Creed at all, and it wouldn't have mattered. It was just a completely different animal. Valhalla does a great job of. It does a better job of. They're not quite there what they're trying to do, but it does a better job of the balance of just that pure raw being able to just run in and that pure combat, and then also what made Assassin's Creed with the stealth. Like, I can tell you from the hours I put in, I have a lot of fun doing both throughout bases and throughout fighting. Get up, kill a couple guys, jump into the shadows, kill a couple more, and then run in screaming and take the last few out.
Chris, I think you would actually like Valhalla. I think that's kind of up your alley. It really is. I don't think Odyssey was, but Valhalla I think really is. I mean, it's a good story. Like Ryan said, you can be stealthy with it. You can run in and you can just start, once again, like I said earlier, like Leroy Jenkins it.
You can literally you can literally take out entire bases completely Assassin's Creed style.
What kept me away from Odyssey was time savers.
What do you mean? Explain that.
He's talking about the store.
Yeah, the purchasable XP.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, there's none of that in there. The only thing you can purchase in the store is cosmetic things.
Yeah, you can purchase like maps that tell you where things are, but there's no I don't recall seeing any boosters. The skill tree is completely different than Odyssey.
Yeah, it's completely different than Black Flag too.
Yeah, it's a completely different skill tree that it's just you get to fill out based on your preference. Do you like using a bow? Do you like being stealth? Do you like running in like a Viking? And then you branch through the skill tree of your choice, and eventually you will get enough skill points to fill out every single thing in that tree. But as you're building your character, you can build him to your preference of play.
Yep.
Or her, Eivor.
Yep. So it's definitely worth it. If you can find it on sale for like $30, definitely worth the $30.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is. But getting back to Microsoft,
we were wrapping up with Bethesda, and we were talking about Halo
and all of that. So the question I have, I think the last question of the night for this, or not necessarily the last question, but the last question for Xbox. Obviously, it's trailing. It wants to catch up. I want it to catch up. I love the competition, and to me, good competition means better games for us. So having the Xbox and the PlayStation and all of that, like, let's go. Let's make them better. So obviously, Xbox needs help. In 3-4 sentences, Chris, you start. Ryan, you go next. what does Microsoft have to do to get the audience back to Xbox?
Games.
Exclusives?
That's what I was
Or-
going to say. I was going to give you one word.
They need games. They need exclusive games. No, they don't have anything. Oh, hey, did you play Medium?
No, I haven't. It's coming to,
Have
it's
you
coming to
had any-
PlayStation also.
Yeah, I know. And that was their exclusive, and it wasn't a true exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in buying an Xbox right now because everything comes out on the One X or the series. You don't need a Series X. You can go get an Xbox One. You can play it all there. Go get an Xbox One X and play the upscale 4K. They're dirt cheap. They're like $300 right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan. You're saying the same thing. First party games.
I was going to say the same thing, different word. I was just going to say exclusives. That's what they need. Even Sony, as small as it was, they came out with PS5. They said, and they were piggybacking off one of the most successful games they've ever made. They said Miles Morales, PS5 exclusive. Xbox doesn't have that.
You're right.
Yep.
You're right. I mean, look at it. I mean, they made the announcement that God of War is actually still coming to PlayStation 4, but I mean, the new God of War. I mean, Returnal. If you're like the roguelike, I'm having fun with Returnal. That's a PlayStation 5 game. Ratchet and Clank, straight PlayStation 5 game.
And we're forgetting about PlayStation's only real shooter, which I am actually excited to see what they're going to do with the PS5 with another Hellzone.
What?
Really?
There's another or Killzone?
Or Killzone, that's it. Killzone, not Hellzone. Killzone. It's not, nothing's been like officially announced yet, but I can see it. It would be dumb to not.
Well, that's the thing is that. So like that's the other thing too. So not necessarily Killzone. I would love to see it, but look at what Guerrilla's making. So Guerrilla made Killzone. What's the other game that they're making? Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon, Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Or
what the hell is
we can
the new
go
one?
back. We can even go back a little one. Anybody? I loved it when it was on the PS3. The Rise Against Humanity or whatever those games were.
Yeah. Resistance.
Help me out. Resistance.
Resistance. So that was made by a different game. I think it was made by Insomniac actually. But no, so you're right though. I agree with you guys 100%. Look at what's coming out on the PlayStation 5. You had Demon Souls that came out, which is PlayStation 5 exclusive. You have Returnal, PlayStation 5, not PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 exclusive. You have Ratchet and Clank, PlayStation 5 exclusive. All these games got huge, except for Horizon yet, because we don't know. All these games got huge scores, 9.5s, 10s, 9s, 8s. There's really not a bad score for what has been out. And they still, Miles Morales, 9s, 9s and 10s and all of that. There's not a bad score on the PlayStation 5 games that are just straight PlayStation 5 games that are exclusives. And I agree with you. I was going to say the same thing. It's Xbox needs to tote what this system can do powerful wise that you can only find on the Xbox S, Series X or S. Period.
We know the Xbox is a more powerful console. It is that's not an argument. Like it has more processing power. It really does.
On paper, it has more processing power.
Yes. I mean, on paper, communism looks great.
Yes. Same thing. Kinda. But so I think that's what it is. I really hope that we start to see the exclusives start to come out. So I'm glad that we're in agreement with that.
No, they have to do something. The problem with Microsoft is they've always seemed to bank on Halo and Gears of War. That's 2.
Mm-hmm.
But
and Forza.
But we're also looking at this now. Microsoft owns Bethesda. If
Yes.
Skyrim became an Xbox only, everybody would have an Xbox or they would be playing on PC.
That's a big if. I don't think they'll do that. I think
I don't think so either.
I think what Microsoft will get, though, is kind of like Avengers is doing, but Avengers is exclusively getting Spider-Man on PS5. You're going to see a lot of, with the next Elder Scrolls and probably even the Starfield game, a lot of, you can get this for the game, but only on Xbox.
Oh, yeah. I can even see that, like, timed exclusive. Hey, you can only play Skyrim for the next 6 months on
honestly,
Xbox.
When it comes to Bethesda games, the only reason I bought an Xbox One to begin with is because I got sick. I wanted to screw around and have more fun with Skyrim, and the modding, the capabilities of what you're able to get on an Xbox compared to the limitations that Sony puts on you is night and day. So if you're going to get one of those Bethesda games and you don't have a computer, you get it on an Xbox.
Yep. You're right.